Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved Custom Scenarios. I got a request for a scenario that I think I would have expected to receive months, if not like a couple of years ago, but for some reason it popped up this week. It is called the FNAF Fanbase Epidemic. So you see what I mean? Back when FNAF was a bit more relevant is when I would have expected this to pop up, but okay, sure, why not? The author is, pace yourself, Arthur! Seriously, Arthur, you gotta slow down, man. You're working yourself too hard. You're gonna burn out. Anyway, see, there it is again, by the way. The anyway keeps coming back. Why is this in my brain? You see the problem? It doesn't stop. The fan base that destroyed the internet is now aiming to destroy the world. Did it destroy the internet? I mean, it definitely became an obsessive thing for a while. Use the cringe to eradicate all humans. Disclaimer. Before you get PO'd, the mod is a joke. It's not meant to be taken seriously. If you are offended by the scenario in any way, I will send you milk and a cookie in the shape of Edgelord the Fire Hedgehog animatronic. Oh my god, please do that. I want a milk and cookie in the shape of Edgelord the Fire Hedgehog animatronic. Yeah, okay. So, I will admit, I actually really liked the FNAF games when they came out. I really did. Especially the first one, just because it really was such a unique concept for a horror game. I don't think anything like that had ever been tried before, and even though I know it's not that scary, and if you really sit back for a minute and kind of acclimate yourself to it and don't get too involved, like, it's really not that intriguing of a game at all. Okay, I recognize that, but at the time it was amazing because the ambiance was really good and it was a unique concept. And I really liked how they kept adding on, or Scott Cawthorn kept adding on new features as time went on. It got more and more exciting. And the underlying story was certainly quite fun. I watched plenty of game theory about that. Yes, the series kind of jumped the shark, but I think what really ended up killing a lot of FNAF was the fan base. It got a little bit too obsessive, and then it just became a meme as a result. And I think that's what really kind of messed FNAF up, and everyone's like, it's gone too far, it's not good anymore, and everyone just wanted to find reasons to hate it. The games themselves were fine. The way the fan base ended up treating it probably wasn't. At least that's my opinion. Anyway, we have Catalytic Switch, Genetic Mimic, Aquastatic Streamafall, and Strand Stasis. Do I want that? No, I think I'll stick with my generic, like, Darwinist, and ATP Boost, and Symptostasis and stuff for a virus type. Normal difficulty, the FNAF fan base. Hello? Hello? Hey, Scott Inc. calling. We need you to infect the world with the best game ever. I mean, FNAF. Naturally, we need to start it in America, where the guy who made the game lives. You assume that, okay? The internet makes that easy to fool. He could just say he lives in the U.S. For all I know, this is some guy who lives in Peru, and he's a frickin' genius. FNAF fanbase has infected its first human, weak and unspecialized, blah, 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 blah. Let's take a look at the transmissions. We have Le Interwebs. Why is it Le Interwebs? Is that a meme I don't know? The FNAF fanbase's first victim, Le Interwebs 2, starts to spam people's search. More infectivity. Spread the word. FNAF fans talk about how great the game is. Sparks people's interest. Causes them to buy the game. Infectivity increased. I think a ton of people bought that game and then never ended up playing it. Let's be honest, we all just watched Markiplier and a few other people play the game, and then like maybe 5% of people who bought it actually ended up playing it. Which, I don't know if that's really brilliant marketing on Scott Cawthorn's part in getting the YouTubers to kind of monetize the crap out of that, and he just sold the games without actually having to have a fan base that plays it. I don't know. Or maybe that's a really bad sign for the game, that people are happy just to watch others do it and they don't actually play it. Either way, Scott Cawthorn made the frickin' money. Man, if only I could do something like that. Scott Cruise Lines. People want to see Scott Cawthorn cause them to hijack boats. Was there a mass migration of people coming to America looking for the elusive Scott Cawthorn? I don't think so. Scott Airlines. Fans want to meet him. Okay. Road trip. People go on road trips to Texas. Oh, he lives in Texas, does he? Huh. Somehow that kind of makes sense. Everything is bigger and crazier in Texas. I love Texas, by the way. Texas is freaking amazing. It's one of the few places I actually would consider moving. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the climate because I deliberately escaped from the Arizona southwestern style climate. But, I love the people in Texas. The culture's great. Anyway, bad OCS. People start creating bad OCs. OCs? OCs. Sorry, not OCS. Infectivity increased. All right. Shipping. People start shipping animatronics together. Were people shipping animatronics? Fan games. Here's what I was looking for. People start making bad fan games. Oh my god, there are so freaking many. The internet. is a slew, and I don't even know if that's a word, in bad fan games. And some very few actually ended up being really dang good, okay? But not many. 90-something% are crap. And yet, you have to be impressed that a game like Five Nights at Freddy's was actually able to inspire so many people to try that formula to create their own content. Even if it did suck, they threw something out there on the internet, which is more than I can say I've ever done. So I applaud the bravery, and it's amazing what FNAF was able to inspire, even if the majority of it is terrible. You gotta respect it. Fangirls rise out of the dark side of the internet and start to worship FNAF characters. Oh, I don't think it was fangirls. I really don't. Just based on some of the fan art that was created, I'm pretty sure it was perverted fanboys most of the time. Infectivity increase. Fan art. People start creating bad fan art. Some of it's pretty talented, just bad for different reasons. I'm just saying, you all know exactly what I mean. Crossovers. People start making unrelated crossovers. I do hate crossovers. I don't think that they're funny. I think they're usually terrible. It is rare you get a good crossover in anything in life. Let's start with the really bad fan games. Unfitting themes. Themes become unfitting, such as Five Nights in a Person's Apartment. But see, I like that because that's kind of ironic in its own weird way. Abilities. We have our generic cold resistance, heat resistance, and safe search resistance, which is hilarious. Instead of drug resistance, I actually kind of appreciate that. We also have actually bad FNAF merch. ToyWiz releases bad FNAF merch. Okay. Actually good FNAF merch. Sanchi releases actual good merch. I never looked up merch. Although, you know what's hilarious is I actually do have a little bit of FNAF merch. The only FNAF merch that I personally own are little tiny figurines. Little FNAF figurines. And that came from a long dang time ago when I played a Steamed video of FNAF. And it wasn't exactly my best content, but my dad for some reason thought it was hilarious, and he thought, well, that's really kind of cool. Let's get him some FNAF figurines for Christmas. I've never used them or opened them, but it was a nice thought. Internet instability. Google servers become unstable, increasing random ideas. That sounds like mutation chance, and I'm not really sure how it relates exactly to this scenario, but we'll go with it. I've just spent the last, 7.5 minutes not actually playing the scenario and just talking about FNAF. Let's actually play the dang game. Le interwebs 2. We'll go for that transmission vector, I guess. I don't know. The United States is not the best starting location. Is there anything that's really good? No. All infectivity. I was kind of looking for any symptoms that would give me some sort of soft drug resistance. That has not happened. Looks like as a virus type with Darwinist, we are going to get a fair bit of mutation chance, and I probably do not want to worry about picking up the Google search right now. So instead, I think I'm going to go for some safe search resistance. Because the United States, being a wealthy and urban country, is a very difficult starting location. You actually would think that urban would make up for that somewhat, but it doesn't happen. I actually kind of like the mutation chance here with FNAF, because it actually makes sense that the FNAF community is sort of evolving on its own. I don't even have to direct the darn thing. It just thematically makes a lot of sense to me. What the heck is this? FNAF and Undertale crossover? Oh, please God. In this pizzeria, it's stuff or be stuffed. Need to unlock Scott. Scott's a thing I can unlock? Okay, let's go for spread the word 1. Spread the word 2. Groups on the street start talking about how FNAF is better than Fallout 4. Oh, I can think of a lot of people who would kill me if I said something like that. Like actual violence. You know how free speech in the United States is more or less unlimited. You can do anything, you can say almost anything you want in the United States, no matter how hateful it is, and I support that. Not the hateful stuff, but the rights. The only exceptions are inciting to violence, right? I'm pretty sure that saying that FNAF is better than Fallout 4 does not constitutionally qualify as protected speech. Pretty sure. That was a long, drawn-out joke. Domestic browsing. People spend a balanced amount, balanced, of time spamming people with FNAF on the computer and annoying their friends with it in real life. Infectivity increases as a result. You think infectivity would go down as people start getting especially turned off to the whole thing. Crossover fan games. People make crossover fan games, okay? So it's just getting worse and worse as time goes on. Crossovers aren't that good. Need I say no more? No, you don't. Unnecessary crossovers. Have nothing to do with FNAF. Naturally. Some people call that Easter eggs. I call it incredibly annoying. let's go for some air transmission because I really want to get out of the United States and start getting around. You'd think that we'd spread a lot faster because this isn't really a United States-specific locked thing. It's not really geographical. This was an internet phenomenon, which means it pretty much goes everywhere. Except for, I don't know, China. Did China's Great Firewall say no FNAF? If so, they were probably smart for it, but I don't think they did. All right, now we're getting to Saudi Arabia. This is where we should start picking things up. Bad OCS. OCs, gosh dang it. Mary Sue's. OCs get worse. People make OCs too OP. And that everyone likes them. Incorrectivity increases. We're getting a lot of severity, which kind of scares me. Interesting. Severity decreases. Required to unlock Scott. Do I want Scott? I don't know if I want Scott. Let's go for a road trip. Everyone travel down to Texas. They got amazing steaks and gigantic churches. I'm not even kidding. It's one of the things I noticed when I traveled through church. Like, you know how they say everything is bigger in Texas? It's completely true. And the churches there, as we were driving by through Dallas area, like, I wasn't going to any of the churches. I was just looking at them as an outsider. They were freaking huge buildings. I'm used to, like, Virginia now, when you had, like, these tiny little old, like, Pentecostal churches and whatever else in Old Town. So I was really impressed by it all. Do we want the FNAF and Undertale crossover? No, way too much severity at this stage of the game. Water transmission infectivity. Doesn't actually give me infectivity, just a transmission vector. Actually, all of them are kind of like that. Let's go for the domestic browsing because I need to increase my infectivity stat. Just the raw stat will be a better thing to increase. The good news is we actually should be getting a pretty hefty amount of DNA because we have a very good good balance of severity at this stage of the game. So as we're now spreading throughout the world and popping a lot of those red bubbles, that's a lot of DNA, man. There's a lot of DNA. So we've got our safe search 2, we've got our cold resistance. Everything else I think I can kind of wait for now. I don't need any extra symptoms. How are we looking as far as our overall spread? We're missing a few islands. I am going to go for a little bit of extra cruise lines. But air travel, I don't think does anything for me at this stage. And I didn't see any evidence that it increases arid transmission. So I don't really think I need any extra plane transmission at this stage. We got into Greenland remarkably fast. I think it's time to start killing people. Do we want risque fan art? Of course we want risque fan art. Not safe for work. Don't need to explain this one. Don't really want to explain this one. I like this guy's sarcasm. He's good. Screwed up fan art. It's all kind of screwed up. Fangirls. What leads to lethality? I need lethality. Maybe I need Scott. What is required to get Scott? All right, fine. The FNAF and Undertale crossovers. Actually good FNAF merch. Have we unlocked Scott? Do I need to actually get the airlines and stuff to get Scott? Wait, what's this? Metaton? Oh, no, come on. All right, so we got Metaton, and now we've got Employee of the Month. Why is Applejack in this? The star employee for years straight because no one wants to do work. Okay, now we're going in weird directions, and I have no idea what the heck is freaking happening anymore. Shipping fantasies. Maybe shipping means something more than what I thought it meant, and I don't really want to know. Fangirls. Remorse. People regret joining the FNAF fan base and are willing to commit suicide to escape. Okay. I need to pick this up because we actually do need some lethality to maintain some momentum. Mass reports of suicide among FNAF fans demonetized. In their final will, FNAF fans write they no longer like FNAF and are fed up with it. Scott Cawthorne claims he has nothing to do with it, and that's probably true. Why would anyone blame him? Shipping templates. I feel like we have to get to the center here. Road trip. I don't really want to get those because I get no real benefit from them, but I feel like I kind of have to. All right, well, hopefully the lethality ends up giving me enough DNA to work with. There he is, Scott in exile. Scott hides from the rabid fans. And the fans start forming search teams and start hunting him. Infectivity increased, needed to unlock Scott. Okay, I guess we're going to go for that. That requires 11 DNA. That should be easy enough to get. The cure progress is starting to scare me a little bit. The return of Scott! Scott returns from exile and starts making more FNAF games. Can be too overwhelming for some fans, causing death. All severity is lost? That doesn't sound like a good prize. FNAF fans are torn apart after Scott announces he's hiding somewhere from Texas. Yeah, and then he comes back and he makes things like such wonderful gems, such as FNAF World. Ugh. That's one of the moments where I was like, this kind of really jumped the shark, didn't it? Anti-literature madness, shipping templates, shipping lust, lethality, ship fictions, more lethality. I'm a little concerned that we're not going to have enough lethality to win this scenario because Well, simply put, the cure is going way faster than I might have expected, and we're not killing fast enough. Fangirl wars. The fangirls start to get a little bit deadly. Lethality increases. Luckily, fangirls are stealthy, making murders less noticeable, but not really. Maybe the return of Scott is like a win condition if I infect the world. Maybe? Gosh, I really don't want to have to replay this, but we may have a little choice. I'm going to go for the fangirl wars to increase the lethality. There was a nuclear explosion in Finland, and I'm sure somehow that's Freddy's fault. Or Scott Cawthorn's fault, I don't know. Screwed up fan art, really screwed up fan art. Very few people commit suicide because of how disturbing it is. I don't think there's enough lethality in the symptoms to actually win the game. Let's go for the return of Scott. Do we need severity at this point? I don't think so. Is it a win condition? Well, there's the really screwed up fan art. I didn't have to tell people to do it. It just sort of happened on its own because people are freaking perverts. Infect the world, and do we win? Scott has returned to Texas and is now talking about releasing FNAF World, and the whole world groans. The cure is very close to being complete. Okay. Forum reshuffles level 1 and 2. Buy me some of that precious time. That actually might have saved us. Right there. The Fanbase genome has been sequenced. Oh, God. Okay, so we actually do have FNAF World appearing. Wins the game. All fans go berserk. All right, there's a win condition. FNAF World wins the game. How? How does FNAF World win the game? There it is. Ugh. I get that there was, like, actually some lore that kind of mattered, but that's why you watch Game Theory and don't actually play FNAF World, because this seemed incredibly boring. Scott releases the long-awaited FNAF World after his exile. Fans are hyped for this new game. Is that actually true? Because I feel like, if I remember correctly, it just sort of appeared out of nowhere, and all the fans were like, wait, what? I'm pretty sure. 575 days, 82% cure progress, a little bit close for comfort, 36,760 points, 2 stars. Not exactly the best in terms of score and timing, but oh well. Yeah, the scenario is obviously dripping with some sarcasm, but the thing is, like, the symptoms about, like, the actual fan base community and how it sort of develops, the thing is, they're spot on, and if that seems cringy and kind of like, ugh, that's sort of lame and screwed up, well, that's because the fan base was so lame and screwed up. So this scenario, you know, I gotta say, 10 out of 10 accurately represents what happened with FNAF. Gonna have to upvote it. Thank you for sending me that my way. Now, what's gonna happen with FNAF next? Are they actually gonna release a new game? Do you actually think they're gonna continue with the series, or is it actually done? I kind of question whether it's actually done. I feel like new things are around the corner, because how could you not monetize such a popular franchise? But it's not gonna be good. Pretty sure about that. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If so, then I ask that you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.